Imagine you've lived in the exact same house your entire life. Like, you know, every creak in the floorboards, it feels completely permanent, like it just grew out of the earth.
Right, it's just this unquestionable foundation.
Exactly. But then one day you lean against a wall and it just shifts. You look closer and you realize the walls are literally painted cardboard. Like the house you've lived in your whole life is basically a movie set.
Which is such a terrifying moment.
It really is. Welcome to today's deep dive, everyone. Our mission today is to unpack this exact feeling using Mohammed Alamassi's 2026 book, The End of the Search for Meaning. We're looking at that quiet shock when you realize the values you've inherited, like, chasing status or defining success, aren't cosmic laws. They're just human constructs.
And that realization of the cardboard walls triggers what feels like a profound existential crisis. I mean, when you see that the ground beneath your feet is constructed, uncertainty just completely takes over.
Oh, absolutely.
The human mind is incredibly reactive. We tend to assume that if a value is constructed, well, it must automatically mean it's totally fake or worthless.
Yeah, but here's where it gets really interesting. Realizing those walls are cardboard doesn't mean the house immediately falls down. Like, think about money, or even the language we're speaking right now.
No, that's a great comparison.
Right. Neither a $20 bill nor these English words are woven into the fundamental fabric of the universe. They're completely artificial, yet profoundly real in how they impact your daily life. I mean, try telling your landlord that rent is just an illusion.
Yeah, that won't go over well. What's fascinating here is how Alamassi shifts us away from that binary thinking. Like, not everything has to be either an absolute cosmic truth or a total lie.
There's a middle ground.
Exactly. Meanings can be human constructions and still possess real functional value. He uses this great analogy of a map. A map isn't the physical land itself, but it is a highly functional tool that helps you navigate reality. The danger is just when you mistake the map for the actual terrain.
But why do we do that, though? Like, why is it so easy to confuse human constructs like wealth or status with physical laws of nature?
Well, historically speaking, because we evolved to. For early humans, social constructs were absolute survival imperative.
Like, really? Survival imperative?
Oh, absolutely. If you didn't adhere to the map of your tribe's values, you were exiled. And, exile meant physical death. So our brains are literally hardwired to treat these abstract concepts as life or death realities.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
But once you recognize the map as just a map, you realize you have to start drawing your own. And that's where my brain just goes into analytical overdrive.
You get stuck questioning everything.
Yes, trying to decode the underlying truth of the universe. Alamassi calls this existential exhaustion. I struggle with that, though. If we stop analyzing, are we just going back to sleep? I thought the whole point of spiritual evolution was to stay hyper-aware of reality, not just shut off our brains.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, trying to live in a state of constant existential analysis is functionally impossible. Think of the brain like a computer processor.
Okay, my view.
If you're constantly running this heavy background program, questioning the fundamental code of the operating system, you're going to overclock the CPU. It drains the battery. You simply won't have the processing power left to navigate daily life.
So you're just spinning your wheels and overheating.
Right. It's a recipe for total cognitive burnout. Real maturity isn't about maintaining constant analytical tension. It's about cognitive flexibility.
What does that look like in practice, though?
It's knowing when to open those existential background apps for deep philosophy and then knowing when to force quit them. You need to be able to just experience drinking a cup of coffee without dissecting the cosmic significance of the beans.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? This framework essentially relieves that massive pressure to just solve the universe. You don't have to figure out the ultimate cosmic purpose to justify your existence. True stillness isn't about finding the final answer.
It's about no longer needing one. But this raises an important question for the future.
Oh, definitely.
We've established that human meaning is a constructed map we use to survive. But what happens to our existential stability when artificial intelligence begins drawing these maps and defining societal values for us?
That is wild. Like, if the cardboard walls of our house were built by humans, at least they reflected human need.
Exactly. When you realize the movie set you are living in was designed by a machine optimizing for its own hidden metrics.
It changes the entire foundation of reality.
Yeah.
Definitely something for you to ponder the next time you scroll through a feed deciding what matters today.